Zod and Skii, the duo that will blow your mind. Episode 111. It's showtime. Let's shine. Let's shine. Rolling through these streets, late night vibes. Questions and answers, truth never hides. Skiiwalker's the name, making moves, no disguise. A movement that's solid, it forever survives and thrives. It's alive and always catching dubs. Time to show Snyder Cell movement some love. Welcome to tonight's late night Q&A. Zod and Skii going rhyme on these motherfuckers today. Finding a way for me to be the intro MC. It's episode 111, you see. Cause Skiiwalker is the man and this movement proves it. Skiiwalker is the man and this movement proves it's not for clout, no doubt. I'm gonna let him tell you what's all about. And as for me, I let it out in the booth until it's lights out. Skiiwalker is the man, the cell movement proves it. Skiiwalker is the man, the cell movement proves it. Yo, we got enemies at every corner. Social media is held corrupted by bots from the brothers Warner. It's incredible, cause Snyder is always winning. This movement is a gift that keeps on giving. The cool table steadies the path going straight, while these wayward fuckers procrastinate. How many times do we all have to say that Cell Snyder first and Netflix is away? It's like a broken record in his face at this point. Meanwhile, it's James Gunn, DCU stinking up the joint. Why is it so hard for people to follow the ROEs? Keep your other hashtag bullshit separate if you please. Enemies will always try to crap up the room. Look at all the dumb shit critics try to rebel moon.
Hello, and welcome to Late Night Q&A, episode 111. I have the honor and the privilege and the pleasure of welcoming back my good friend, Skiiwalker, the Jedi. This man and I used to stream together a lot in the past. There's been so much that has happened and has transpired and has changed and has evolved over time, and I could not be happier to have you here, Skii. Welcome back to Late Night Q&A. It's so great to see you. What's up, my friend?
Hey, appreciate you having me on, bro. And yeah, this should be a really, really fun stream. Shout out to everybody that's in the chat. And shout out to everybody that will be tuning in on the replay crew as well. Much love, all you guys. Hopefully you're having a great day. And yeah, we here to get it in. We here to discuss some teams, you know what I mean?
That's for sure. That is for sure, because I mean, I think the last time I had you on here, this was before you and Leon started the Cell movement. So it's sort of, you know, it's like since then, it's like you've been so busy. You've been going to world premieres. You've been on the red carpet all over the place. It's really, I guess that's kind of where I want to start tonight. I want to ask you, what was that like? The experience, the electricity, what was going through you when you were on the red carpet premiere of Rebel Moon?
Man, first of all, shouts out to having me on, bro. Especially with when I reached out and I was like, yo, I think that we should do this. I didn't know that this was going to be episode 111. I feel like that was like a little bit of a lucky strike, you know what I'm saying? Bit of a lucky number.
Well, like the intro says, man,
right?
Skiiwalker is the man. And I thought that number, I thought that number was perfect. Too. Yeah. And shouts out to Hold My DualShock in the chat. HMDS. I gotta love Hold My DualShock. These are some of the greatest people, and I got right off the bat. I gotta thank you, Skiiwalker, because if it wasn't for you, I wouldn't even know Katie, Andy, and Peter. Hold My DualShock. Those are some cool people, and they're saying, ZodWriter, your intro songs are next level. I had to come up with something great for Skiiwalker, and I've been doing a lot of AI Tupac lately, so I was like, you know what? We're gonna go there.
Right. Hey, yeah, and shouts out to South Cali guy, because he's the one that kind of put us in touch with Hold my DualShock, and it's been super dope. Just kind of rocking out with them and having conversations, and yeah, they're a great platform. And yeah, we gonna be doing a lot of stuff into the future as well. But to answer your point, bro, about the Rebel Moon red carpet, or your question rather, it was crazy because I almost couldn't even take it in at first, bro, just because I was so excited about sharing the news with all of you guys that I was gonna be able to go, right? And just putting all that stuff together and trying to keep it a secret, man, was crazy. But once I got there, I started to kind of settle in, and I was trying to report on as much as I could while being there before the movie started. And I got to speak with some people that are in the film and everything like that. But yeah, it was almost something that I kind of had to recognize later, because in the moment I was just trying to make sure that I was bringing you guys there with me, right? And just making sure that the community felt like they were there as well. But seeing Rebel Moon in theaters, bro, and being able to be there for the red carpet, it was something that I'll never forget. And yo, it don't get no better than that as a Zack Snyder fan, bro. It really, really don't. It was truly special.
Well, the thing that stood out to me the most is just how professional you handled it, man. Just the way that I mean, it was almost like you were at an MTV event or a BET event or or some sort of like big, like, you know, it just felt, I could totally see you in a celebrity aura, you know, doing this kind of thing regularly. And it's like, you're in the right spot. You're in LA. You're in, you had to go to New York, you know, at one, I mean, all over the place. And I just think that's great. That's great. Not, you know, again, not just for you, but then like the selfless nature by which you conduct yourself, in the fact that you're doing it all for the community and you wanted us to all feel like we were there. And I can say, seeing you there was just such a highlight. And I'm going to be honest, because I got you here with me here one-on-one with this great chat. It kind of brought a tear to my eye, man, seeing you up there like that, because it was one of those things where it felt like, it literally for me felt like a big piece of like your hero's journey. I mean, you're literally going around. You started out with wearing your that amazing, you know, the black Superman suit that you're wearing, literally, you know, embodying Superman, you know, out in front of Stone Quarry. I mean, I remember those days, man. The first time you took that photo where you were in front of Stone Quarry and you got all that flack from all those haters and crazies on Twitter X and social media, you know, and it's like, the truth is, you've come a long way, and you've not only proved, you know, that you're the real deal, and that you've basically justified 100% the reason why we all are not only 100% love you, but are behind you all the way in everything that you're doing, because you've embodied all of this and showed everybody that not only is Cell the way, but you've shown us the way to conduct all this and to do this in such a manner that, we can get it done. I mean, I remember they're telling you, you know, the haters are saying, "Oh, they're never gonna let Skiiwalker the Jedi in the building," you know. And I remember
full circle,
I was there for all that stuff, and I'm just like, "What are you talking about? They're not gonna let the man in the building." Like, So it just, to me,
that turned out crazy.
It all just feels like, it's a different thing. Like, it's almost like it's a paradigm shift. It feels like the Zack Snyder, you know, Cell movement, the whole thing that you've you know, led and created with everything that you're doing, you know, the Syndicate Network and all of us and all the incorporation in which you've done all of these things. It just shows that it's unstoppable at this point. It's created a life of its own to the point where we are all of us who are here, all of us who are a part of it. It's a very strong and close-knit group, and I don't think that's going to change. And I think that's all, that's all attributed to you as being there at the top and trying to keep things together, you and the cool table and all of us within the group. And I just kind of feel like I just feel great about all of it. And I guess to end that point, I just want to say thank you, man, because you've been an inspiration to all of us.
Thank you for your words, man. And I want to kind of highlight something because you spoke about the community kind of coming with us, man. And that's been what's been really driving this whole thing, bro. Every decision that we make, I know that I say this a lot, but it's the truth. Like, everything that we do is so we can bring you guys along for the ride, right? Y'all all know my kind of origin on YouTube, right? I was just in the chat, like, all y'all that's watching right now, you know what I'm saying, just kind of leaving super chats and all that, just supporting channels is that I thought were doing good work, right? And so when I kind of started coming into prominence on YouTube, when I was putting the cool table together, it was with that feeling of like, if I came from the chat and I know that I felt like I had something to add to these conversations, then I knew that it didn't just stop with me, right? And so yeah, man, the whole inception of us going to the New York event was to bring you guys with us. It's why we felt like we had to be there. When we were putting together the full circle thing, once again, we had to be there, right? Even if people wanted to kind of deter us from going beforehand, that were kind of involved with that situation a little bit. Nothing is gonna deter us, yo. Like, we're just gonna keep doing what we do, and bringing the community along with us. The ride is not over yet, and we still got plenty more surprises and things for you guys coming in the near future. And I just want to thank everybody that's been rocking out this whole time, because y'all the real MVPs, man. Y'all keep me fueled. Y'all keep Leon fueled. Y'all keep Austin fueled. Necron, everybody that's involved with what we're doing. You guys keep us fueled with your thoughts, and y'all just really believing in what we do. So if y'all will have us, we'll just keep rocking out. You know what I'm saying? That's pretty much been our mantra so far.
Well, shout out to everybody in the chat. Shout out to Mads Mama Bear, of course, and to Hold My Dual Shock, Bat Dan, the Prime W Mir. I mean, we've got a wonderful chat in here as always, and that's another thing I want to touch on here just briefly. How not only has this group, cultivated into something great, but I've noticed something, Sky, how we all have, these the same cross chat. It's like we're all part of the same, streaming family, so to speak. So it's always nice to see the way everybody just kind of connects, and there's like literal continuity between streams and stuff with all of us. Like, it's like you can go to a Skiiwalker stream, you can watch Night Shift with you and Stino, you can watch a late night Q&A, and we all kind of, and everybody, or a Bad Dan stream or whatever, and we all have, there's continuity amongst all these streams. I mean, heck, even with Katie and Andy, even with Hold My Dual Shock, it's like it's all become part of this huge network. Again, you say the syndicate network all the time, and that's another thing I wanted to.
Shouts out to Leon for coining that.
Brush on that, So shout out to Leon of the New Geeks, who who's I believe also live at this moment. I don't know. I had a real busy day. I didn't even get a chance to really see much in the way of YouTube today. I had everything I could do just to get it to the point where I would make sure that I could be here on time. I was actually grateful to you. I was like, when you said, can you make it, 7:30 California time? I was like, yeah, that'll work out perfect. That won't even be an issue. I'm like, because I already knew what I was going to be dealing with today. So I was like, yeah, that's where it is. But yeah, it's can you talk a little bit about that for the people out there that don't know, that might be watching this, lurking or watching on the replay? Can you talk a little bit about the Syndicate Network?
Oh yeah, man. That's something that came along when we still had our great friend Mikey Sutton with us. Mikey was kind of looking into a name for the team of like all of these characters, and I can't remember what his original name was, but Leon was like, yo, we should call it the Syndicate Network. And like Mikey just loved that name, man. He loved that name, and he immediately just kind of started going with it and rocking out with it and incorporating it into everything he was doing. So once that happened, and then we ended up unfortunately losing Mikey, we just decided to keep on going with that name and what that foundation was of the Syndicate Network, and to kind of just keep doing what we've been doing. Because if it's one thing, man, that look, there's a lot that people can try to say, and they can try to go back and change history or whatever, but one thing that cannot be questioned is how much Mikey believed in what we were all doing. And the choice to kind of continue on with that moniker was born from that knowledge that Mikey 100% was rocking out with everything that we were doing. And he also really was championing us doing our own thing and just continuing to move forward and evolve. So the Syndicate Network has been the Cool Table, which is myself, Leon of the New Geeks, L Necron, and the Good Austin, you dig? And just everything that we've been cultivating with all of you guys with this sale campaign and all that stuff. So we just kind of rolled it all into one thing, and we have an abundance of different kinds of conversations throughout the network, from sports talk to we getting into politics and all this stuff now, movie talk, entertainment news, like whatever you want to have. I mean, whatever conversation you want to have, there are people in the Syndicate Network that pretty much can just facilitate whatever type of conversations that you guys are looking to have. So it's truly been special, and I've had a great time kind of rocking out and building that network out and its colleagues. And we've just been having a great time collaborating with everybody like yourself and Hold, my Dual Shock, and things of that nature. So it's been a lot of fun, and we look forward to doing more of it, man, and just really continuing to push this line for the Syndicate Network and everything that we're building.
Absolutely. And Bat Dan's Thoughts makes a great point here where he says, and we honor Mikey's legacy by keeping doing what we're doing. And that's absolutely true. I think Mikey would be proud of every single one of us, and particularly you, Sky, for the way you've championed and encouraged everybody to keep on keeping on and keep doing everything that we do. And it's one of those things too where I just feel like, Mikey was not just an inspiration, but is a literal icon as far as our community goes,
I agree.
as far as the
100%.
impact that he's truly an icon. So we're here doing all this, carrying it on as best as we possibly can. And I honestly, I just it warms my heart to know this too, to feel like, and I don't know about you, Skiiwalker, but it's like I genuinely feel that Mikey's here with us. I genuinely feel that he's looking down on all of us and is proud of everything that we're doing and knows that we're going to keep it going in his honor.
Yeah, man. There's been too many signs, bro.
Mm-hmm.
There's been way too many signs. Like I remember, Mikey was always very adamant that once like Batman the animated series started ending up on Netflix and stuff like that, that it was going to be like a sign that things were happening. And I remember finding out that Batman the animated series was going to Netflix in like some other country, but it was going on there on my birthday, bro. It literally was on my birthday, and I just cried, bro. Like I ain't gonna front, like, you know, and that's like just one of the several things that have happened since Mikey's passed. That has just for sure let us know that we're on the right track, and I hope that Mikey's proud of what we've been doing. I know that from the outside looking in, things may seem a bit crazy sometimes, but they only seem that way because we're so steadfast in how we feel. We know what the truth is and what really happened. And so when you know the truth, it makes it that much easier to keep going forward with what you know to be the truth. Right. So, 100%.
It's like not just knowing the truth, Skiiwalker, but we all in our group at least, we all lived the truth.
Yeah.
So
lived it, saw it, heard it, bro.
It's like,
felt
yo,
it, you know what I'm saying? All that.
If you live the truth, you can't. That's the thing that a lot of people don't understand, though. If you live the truth, nobody can tell you anything, because anybody can talk and throw their opinions out there. But if you weren't there, you didn't see it, you didn't live it, you don't know, and you can't challenge people who were there and who did know, who dealt with, who talked to Mikey almost every day, who had direct conversations with this man, who knew what he wanted, who knew a lot about his direction.
I did a show with him 5 times per week.
5 times per week.
You know
I did a weekly show with him. We had Necron did a weekly show with him. We had a lot. We all had projects and things we were working on with Mikey. We all have. There's all things that we know. It's like for people like us who knew Mikey, who got to know Mikey pretty well. You know, it's almost like it's when we hear things and we see people just trying to go out there and throw out Mikey's name and try to use him in a way, you know, to make whatever, you know, whatever their nefarious ideas are, to try and bolster whatever, you know, that fakery and bringing up Mikey's family and stuff. That kind of stuff to me always kind of just hits me a different way, Skiiwalker, because I sit here and I say to myself, listen, Mikey knew what was up. Mikey's family knows what's up because they, you know, dealt with Mikey. And it's like this is the thing. We don't have to justify anything that we're doing, because we're doing it the right way, and we're doing it in a way that Mikey would approve of and would want us to do. So for me, I'm 100%, and this is what just makes me love this community even more, and makes me so grateful and, you know, thankful deep down for everybody, because it's like we're just the path we're on is not only a beautiful path, but it's the right path to be on. It literally is the way.
Yeah, man, look, for for people that might feel not even if you just don't believe, because I don't really want to address like naysayers, right? But let's just say that you are having a harder time finding hope, you know. There are things coming in a very near future that are also pointing towards us being on the right path 1000%. And so, you know, I've been saying this before. There is no decision that we make that does not have all of you guys at the absolute forefront of it. And not only that, we don't take this stuff lightly, guys. Like, when I hear that people believe in me or my idea or what we've been doing, that doesn't bring me a sense of like, oh yeah, everybody rocking out with what I'm doing, right? So we can just sit back and cruise now. Like, no, that's not what that does at all. To be honest, it even, you know, kind of makes me nervous sometimes, right? Because I think anybody would be in my situation, right? Because you don't want to let people down, and you don't want people to feel that same kind of feeling that we all got after what happened with Cavill happened, right? Where we all kind of lost our hope that we was gonna be able to see the end of this thing through. So we don't take it lightly. It's not something that I necessarily even enjoy like that. Like, we know that you guys believe in what we're doing, so that shit is taken seriously. Like, we don't play with that. We don't play with people's emotions. Y'all will never come on here and hear me trying to sell y'all some hope if there is none to be had. This idea was born out of hope, and we've just continued to try to spawn more hope in the hearts and minds of all of you guys. But at the same time, if you can see the progress that we've made, it's been because we were all together. So we fucking went into this situation together, and we gonna walk out together. 100%.
Well, that hope is based on facts, like you said. You're not going to give anybody anything false. Like, I got to say this to you. Like, I watched the Zack Snyder hour that you did, where you were talking about, I was on the replay crew for the one you did where you talked about the Rebel Moon director's cuts. And I was so Zactivated after that stream. I could like literally feel it coursing through my body. I was so excited and hyped.
Yeah, bro.
Just listening to the way. See, and this is what it is. You're basing all of it. You're not giving false hope. You don't have to give false hope when you're directly
hey guys,
proving what's going on with Zack Snyder. It's happening. Like, when you was going over, like, it's like, you don't have to make anything up. You don't have to lie about anything. You don't have to give fake scoops or fake rumors. You literally are just speaking the facts of what's out there. It's like, well, this day we got this day we got this, and then it all culminates with the Friday when we get the director's cuts. It's like, wow, like, everything you said was so just electrifying, but not just because you weren't speaking out of both sides of your mouth. You were just speaing facts.
Hey,
that's how
ZSJL is really gonna play in a Netflix theater next week.
Yeah,
that's really gonna happen. Like, they're really showing all this dude's movies in a Netflix theater. Starting next Monday, this coming Monday, right? So yeah, like, we don't have to make anything up. Not at all. We do not have to make anything up. And yeah, we will never bring false narratives just to bring hope. I don't like false hope. I feel like this fandom has already had enough of that shit throughout these past few years of being toyed with by Warner Brothers and then Warner Media and then Warner Brothers Discovery, right? It's been regime after regime of like ups and downs, all these things kind of happening and them trying to give us false hope and then take it away, and just all these games that have been played with our fandom. And yeah, I'm just not really interested at all in engaging of any of that. You know, that's not why I'm here. Some people are content creators because they want to make content, you know, and it's just what they do. My purpose on here is a little bit different. And it's just kind of funny because I think back, my friend who pops up in the chat is sometimes Mr. Nobody. He used to always say that I was going to get the Snyderverse back. And I was just like, man, what the fuck? But it's like way before I had a channel. And he used to always say that, like, man, because y'all be fucking thinking I'm capping. I was like this with all my friends, talking about Zach's movies and the Snyder cut. And hey, right, Stino and I was just talking about that on Night Shift the other night. So yeah, I'm really this guy in real life. You know, I love Zach's films. I'm unapologetic about that. And yeah, it's great, man. And you know, I just enjoy what I'm on YouTube for, and that may not be for everybody, and it's fine. I'm not even saying that anybody else is wrong for what they're doing. We're just different, you know?
Well, that's the key of what you said. I just want to touch a little bit on what you said. The key element here is that you have a purpose on YouTube. It's not social media. Skiiwalker the Jedi has a purpose. It's not just creating content. Because I believe, and this is, just, as your friend and somebody who's known you for a while, I've always had this belief in you that, and I don't know if I ever said this, but I always had this belief that if you weren't doing what you're doing now, you wouldn't be doing YouTube. You would still just be in the chats. You wouldn't be doing that. I mean, who the hell wants to devote time to this, to just mindless, mind-numbing content where they're just putting content out, kissing James Gunn's butt, shilling for Warner Brothers Discovery, looking sideways at Zach and the Cell movement. I mean, who wants to do that just to produce content, just to be a grifter, just to make money? Like, you're not going to get, and I tell this to people all the time, like, well, you can make money off of YouTube. You could do this, you could do that. I hear people say that all the time. And I look at YouTube and I laugh and I say, yeah. And if you think you're going to get rich off of YouTube, you probably shouldn't be on YouTube.
Yeah.
And because if you got to sell out all your friends and you got to backstab everybody and you can't stand for anything, if you don't stand for something, you're going to fall for anything. And that's the reality of a lot of these people. You can't trust them because the only reason they're on YouTube is to promote their brand, to put out content. It's not about sending a message. It's not about having a purpose. Like what all of this is, what we're talking about. This is an actual purpose. The Zack Snyder Cell movement is a purpose, but you don't just talk about Zack Snyder stuff. You talk about a lot of other stuff. And it's funny because, I was joking with my friend the other day. I said, why is it that, I get more views on the AI Tupac music that I make. I get more views on the AI Tupac music that I make than I do on my regular live content. I say to myself, I might as well just make, if it was just about YouTube and I just wanted to get views and wanted to get, I could just quit making actual live content altogether and just focus solely on AI music and not specifically the Tupac stuff, and not bother to make anything anymore, because it's like you're gonna get all your views from that. So it's like, if you don't have a purpose and you just want to put content out there, like some of these people, it's just about grifting and super chats and stream elements and Cash App and all that stuff. And to me, I just look at it like, listen, if I don't have a purpose, then I got better things to do. And I love that about you, Skiiwalker. I love the fact that you're on that same, wavelength. Like, listen, no, if it's not purposeful, I'm not gonna be here. Because you could be like, you're gonna put out a stream. You'll put out a stream when you're available to put out a stream. It's like, if I got something else I got to do, or I'm not feeling well, I'm not gonna over push it, because I'm not over here doing this. I'm not over here doing this to grift or to mislead anybody. I'm doing this because it's purposeful, and that's very key.
Plus, I don't want to bring you guys anything, because like I want to make sure that I'm always bringing you guys this version of Skii that you see when I'm on stream, right? So he's absolutely right. That I don't do things when I'm not feeling well or anything like that just to do it. I have had to push through certain things because we have needed it for the community, but it's not for money, man. Like, I think it's Ice Cube that had this quote. He was like, if you're not prepared to do something for 5 years without making $1, then whatever it is, it might not be for you, right? I love my life outside of YouTube. I have an awesome job that I love. I know that a lot of people don't actually get to enjoy their work. I'm not one of those people. I love my job. I love my life. And technically speaking, I don't need to be doing YouTube. The money that I do make from my channel is not enough whatsoever to get me to start trying to, twerk for likes and views and stuff. Because it's just not that serious, right? And I think that you guys know me by now, that I couldn't be coming on here and not be genuine, I truly believe in only having conversations when I'm being genuine. And so there will never be a point where I'm just here doing something just for content purposes. Whatever I do on my channel, it is because I either believe that I have to talk about this, or it is a situation where it is serving the community better. It's just never going to be a thing where I'm on here compromising my morals or my integrity for likes and clicks. That's just not how I get down.
The people that do that, though, don't have any integrity to compromise. It's not even a question. It's like, when you got dudes out there that are just like, oh yeah, I'm gonna get so big on YouTube, I can quit my day job. It's like, it's like you just, in that regard, I always look at it, dude, maybe you should look for another day job. Something that you would be happier in, rather than having to sell out your community for clicks and views, literally, stabbing your alleged friends in the back. We're gonna put friends in quotes, because I don't feel like friends do other friends the way some of these other people do out there. And it's just crazy to me, they not like us. Well, yeah, well, that's true, 100%.
Yeah, not 100%.
Unbelievable. I just it's insane to me. And what happens is with those types of people where they're just there to push out content. What happens is that's why their content is all stale and formulaic, and it all comes out the same because it's just cookie cutter designed to get you to keep watching. It's almost like a desperation move, like like a drug addict trying to get a fix. They're just doing anything they can to try and keep that artificial love, that manufactured, euphoria that they get from that stuff.
Yeah, even like, copying, doing a show called Night Views when we got Night Shift, but I ain't about to get it.
Yeah. Okay. Night Shift that was started by the late great Mikey Sutton and Skiiwalker the Jedi, and you are carrying on the torch with your co-host Stino in a very, very classy and dignified way, versus somebody out there who's just grifting, trying to do the Night Gallery or whatever you want to call it. Listen, dude, the Night Gallery was a TV show in the 70s, bro. there's nothing that you can do that is going to make anything impressive. You can't compete. You can't compete with the Syndicate Network. You can't compete with genuine people that want to do the right thing and are actually trying to get a message out there. You're never going to be able to compete. So just sit your ass down. If I was like that, I tell you, like, if it ever got to that point, Skiiwalker, where I ever had to even think like that for 4 seconds, I would delete my channel. And people like this don't just have one channel. People like this have multiple channels. Okay, so it's kind of like, well, whatever happened to that sports channel that Austin started? What happened to that?
All right.
Because now that you don't have Austin, I don't think you have a sports channel. I'm just saying,
Hey man, Bad Dan said he gonna do nighttime Q&A.
Oh yeah, that's coming. That's coming. We're gonna have nighttime Q&A. We're gonna have that. I got a little bit of I got some ideas I could throw to that clown with nighttime Q&A. Mad's Mama Bear says Sky is enigmatic in his love and belief in the Snyderverse. We support him because we recognize he's genuine. Well, yes, Mama Bear, because real recognizes real. And if any of us was fake, Sky wouldn't be associating with none of us. Sky wouldn't be here with me on the red couch if he thought I was fake. Sky wouldn't be here.
Especially after everything that's kind of happened recently, you know what I'm saying? Like,
it's my thing is you pick your path and you live with the consequences of whatever path it is that you chose. And for me, I feel like I'm on the right path. I look at Sky, I feel like Sky is leading us down the right path. I mean, because I look at you I see you as a leader, because you've literally galvanized everybody to the point where we all feel like we're gonna support you no matter what, because we know that you're in it for the right reasons. And you've said it so many times, and it's come out of your mouth, and you said it just now. So to me, there's no comparison. Anybody that calls you a grifter, anybody that tries to make it seem like it's about clicks and views with you, they didn't get the memo and they don't know what's going on. So I just kind of look at anybody that says that, and I just kind of roll my eyes, because it's like, if Sky was doing this for clicks and views, Sky wouldn't be here, because Sky wouldn't be doing it because he has better things to do.
And not only just that, man, like, if I'm being if I've been grifting, I'm doing a terrible job at it. Like,
we all are.
Yo, I literally had a stream about the Donald Trump assassination the other day. Y'all think that helped my channel?
No.
You know what I'm saying? Do you guys think that helped my channel at all? Like, just honestly, you know what I'm saying? Like, no, there's been, matter of fact, they said half the comments was getting deleted while I was live. You know what I'm saying? So, nah, man, there's been several conversations that we've had that we've brought to the people that have not done the best for my chances with the algorithm. I'll just kind of leave it at that, right?
Well, I kind of, when I got a little bit thrown off when you did that stream too, because I said unfortunately, when you do those kinds of streams, what happens is, I was talking to Bat Dan about this. I'm like, unfortunately, when you do those types of streams, it confuses the algorithm.
Yeah,
because you're not known for doing that kind of stuff. So once you do that, now you're like in the political arena. Like, I get nervous for you every time you do something about, when you do a stream about Kendrick Lamar, or you do a stream about something going on, or you did when you did the Death of Slim Shady stream that you did. Great stream, by the way, man. I listened to that entire album because of your video, because I really like, I really used to like Eminem back in the day, and but for me, Eminem has kind of fallen off over the years. So watching your video was like, okay, yeah, I'll have to check out the album, because I missed the old Slim Shady mixtapes. So I kind of was like, I'm gonna check this out. But I know that, but all that, the point about that, I'll make that short. The point about that was just, that probably didn't do you any favors with the algorithm either.
Oh no, I already know, right? But with stuff like that, it's more or less just because I know that people they love when I talk about stuff that I'm passionate about. Right? So if I am going to talk about something else, I feel like I have to have a reason to talk about it, and it has to come from a place of genuine, like, me wanting to have that conversation. The Trump thing, I kind of couldn't help it. Like, I had to go talk about that because I was like, obviously with my background, I had a little bit more insight than most people. So, like,
you and Leon did separate streams about that. I think though, Leon didn't he go live like the day it happened? It was like he went live that day. I remember I was replay crew either like later that night or like the next day I watched it, but it was like y'all just it's like algorithm wise, if you was doing this as a grifter, you're doing it as a horrible job, because it ain't gonna help your channel at all.
For sure.
I know a guy that does like, he's a home arcade YouTuber, and he goes and he did a stream, about talking about the Trump assassination thing. He did that stream, and he was telling me that he literally was watching his subscriber count drop in real time. Like, literally watching the numbers, like watching it just like do.
That happened to me too.
I'm like, yo, this is why it's like, but I mean, I love what you just said about how you stream about stuff that you're passionate about. If you're not passionate about it, you wouldn't be talking about it. It's got to be relevant to you. Algorithm be damned. That's why I think this. I think this algorithm stuff is so goofy, and we know now, if you look into like YouTube, it's not even real people with YouTube. It's actually an artificial intelligence algorithm. So you don't even know how your stuff is being perceived or put out there, for a larger audience. So you really have to dig deep and look at your audience like that. But no, you're a terrible grifter. I'm a terrible grifter. We're all terrible. If we're here for grifting, we suck at it. It is the worst. We're doing the worst possible job.
Yeah, man.
But I will say this about that other guy. he definitely knows how to grift, because that's all he's about.
And what's funny is this too. You know, when we do these things, man, in terms of like streams or what have you, or just having these conversations, I think if you guys weren't like, if we weren't having genuine conversations, it would like, y'all would pick up on it. You guys would automatically pick up on it. I truly believe that. And that's one of the things that I feel like kind of separates me from other YouTubers. Cause like, I feel the same pressures as all the other content creators do. So I get it, right? Oh, what's the thumbnail going to look like? Oh, how am I going to title this video? How do I come up with another stream and do something creative? Like, all, I get it. I totally get it. But at the same time, it is because I understand what those emotions are. That's why I don't have any sympathy, because there is another way, and you can be on YouTube and be genuine. You can be on YouTube and have genuine conversations. It's just a matter of feeling like you either have to sell out or you don't. You know what I'm saying? And I'm just not one of those people that would be on here just having conversations that weren't genuine. And, you know, I've talked about this in several conversations with people behind the scenes, and like, no, it is because I understand what content creators go through. That's why I don't have any empathy. You know what I'm saying? For when they go awry.
Yeah, absolutely. And hold my dual shock.
Wayward, rather. Yeah.
Wayward. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wayward. Waning. Well, we got, hold my dual shock says the great thing about YouTube is the community. You can meet people with shared passion and bypass the narratives that the powers that be push. Yeah. That's 100% right. I mean, it totally, it's totally about that. And I, I've been saying this too, like, I'm going to talk about what I want to talk about. And when I do late night Q&A, I get so many people on from all walks of life, all different communities, all types of people. Whether I like the person or agree with them or not, it doesn't matter. If I bring them on late night Q&A, it's because I want to get a different perspective, or I want to talk, and it just, and so for me, that it's kind of like, I always tell people, when somebody asked me about it, about late night Q&A, and I said, it's almost like, I consider myself almost like a talk show host when I do late night Q&A. Because I could literally bring anybody on. I could bring the Antichrist on to late night Q&A. I don't have to agree with them, but if I bring them on, it's because I'm gonna have a conversation. It's sort of like you kind of just. It's like I don't think that the algorithm looks at me and says, "Oh yeah, he's doing late night Q&A. He's a Zack Snyder channel." Well, no, not necessarily. I mean, yeah, I'm always wearing the Zack Snyder t-shirt in the thumbnail, but it's not that I'm a Zack Snyder channel. I mean, if you ask YouTube now, I guess I'm an AI Tupac channel according to YouTube. I don't know, but it's sort of like, you kind of, it's like, to your point about, you got to be passionate and you got to focus on things that are important to you, or you have to sell out. Those are your two choices. You either, to make it on YouTube, you either got to be real and be you, because you're going to build your following that way with your honesty and genuine nature, or you're going to sell out, have a big ass Pac-Man machine next to you in the shot, covering up the shot, acting like never turning it on, but always having it there. And you're gonna backstab all your friends and be a grifter. Those are your two choices.
What's like really wild too, man, is that I kind of made this clear when I got on YouTube, and I was like, yo, I'm never gonna let like meeting Zack Snyder or anything like that be held over my head, right?
No, you
As
never have.
like, yeah, and what's funny about that is we went into these situations feeling like that, and look at what we've been able to do, you know. And in my opinion, it's been because we had that feeling of like, yo, I don't care if we get Zach on my channel, right? Um, I'm gonna be a fan of his work regardless. And if I'm just a fan and I never get to meet him, that was gonna be cool. Cause I just never wanted anybody to like try to gatekeep me or really push me into a compromising situation by holding that over my head, like meeting Zach. So the fact that we've been able to do everything that we've been able to do without having a compromise, I think it just makes it so much better, man. Like that we didn't do those things. And when y'all get a sense of what we got coming up, I mean, y'all gonna really get it, right? I mean, because you just look at how dumb that had to feel, right? Like you over here selling out and shit, and we going to red carpets, right?
Twerking for James Gunn and Skiiwalker the Jedi is at a Rebel Moon red carpet. I mean, can you imagine being at a red carpet event and dude is over here squatting for Aquaman 2? I gotta say, man, this is where you really start to understand, and you start to peel back the onion layers, and you realize that, yeah, some folks are really down for Zach and some ain't.
Yeah.
And there's no clearer distinction than that right there. You at the red carpet premiere like a G, handling it the way you're supposed to, literally with your microphone, which was a beautiful touch, by the way, Sky. You having that microphone and being there like
shout out to Stino.
Oh, that was dope. That was
shout
so
out to Stino.
dope.
That was Stino.
My God, you were on that. That was next level. And I was looking at that. I'm like half of the time I was like, man, are my glasses fogged up, or is he literally on the red carpet as these folks are coming out?
Oh my God, bro. And what's crazy too is like, if I'd have got there just a little bit earlier, bro, that'd have been it, man. Y'all have no idea how much crazier it would have been. Like probably about 15 minutes. Yeah. 15 minutes earlier, bro, and I'd have had me like a spot where we would have been able to see everybody, and like, yo, man. But even with that, we still got DJ on, man, which was crazy, bro.
Yes.
Like it was just, it's been truly special, man. And yeah,
I gotta ask you about Brett, because I'm gonna reach out to I'm gonna reach out to Brett he's been following me for a while. I'm gonna reach out to Brett about getting him on a late night Q&A. And I love the interview that you did with him. I love, the rapport that you seem to have built up with him to the point where it seems like he's a genuine friend. I just loved that dynamic.
So can you talk a
little bit about Brett?
We ran into Brett so crazy, man. Like,
yeah,
and it's so wild. It just shows how the universe works. That was a totally random situation, like so random. Like people have no idea how much that this situation almost didn't happen, right? Like, when we got to the spot, we were seeing Rebel Moon twice that day, right? And we got to the first screening a little bit later, and the movie was going to be starting soon. So I had to kind of park in a spot where I had to pay a little bit more, and it was only for a couple hours. So when we went to go move the car after the first screening, we're coming up the escalator, and that's where we run into Brett at, right? So if we'd have got there a little bit earlier and just kept the parking spot that I was in, or could have got a better parking spot, that never would have happened. It never would have happened. And yeah, I just we saw Brett, and he was checking out. They had this huge Rebel Moon ad that was at like the top of the escalator, and as you went further up, you could see it like more and like more, and he was just staring at it. And we just asked him like, yo, so have you seen it? And he was like, nah, I haven't seen it, but I'm in it. And I was like, we was like, yo, what? Like, and we just started up a conversation. And yeah, man, we end up seeing him in the theater, and we were fortunately able to see him again for part 2. So yeah, man, it just goes to show that the universe works in mysterious ways, because that moment like could have not happened at all, and it's been one of the more fruitful kind of relationships that we've made over this past year.
I love that story. No, I haven't seen it. I'm in it. I love
Right.
that.
I'm in it.
That's a hell of an introduction, and a hell of a way to meet a person like that. And that,
Yeah.
and you could tell he just had so much fun when he was talking to y'all. I just, but again,
Well,
you've been,
bro, he saw that we were really fans. Like, he
Yeah.
could tell when we first met him. And I think getting that feedback directly from fans was pretty dope for him. So, I mean, I can't speak for him. Shouts out to Brett. But yeah, I might even be seeing us together in the near future. You know what I'm saying?
Well, you see, that's the thing, though. I mean, you've been so. I would say you've been like the number one fan conduit for all this great Rebel Moon coverage. Because like I said, when I went and I watched your most recent Zack Snyder hour, I got so amped up just thinking about, my God, you're right. We're so close to these director's cuts. They're about to come out. I know it was just like I've been saying, a lot of other people have been saying that, these director's cuts are going to be completely different, completely different movies from what the original Netflix PG-13 versions were. Yeah. And I kept trying to say that because there was somebody trying to argue with me. Oh no, they're just going to be like extended versions of what we saw. And I'm like, no, they're not. I'm like, they're going to be completely different. He said that Zach literally said they could be in a different universe.
Yeah, a different universe for sure. And
what is it about? And this is the thing, man. I'm kind of jumping now a little bit, but I want to ask you, what do you think the deal is? Okay, with these people, like, my big question is, why don't people just listen to Zach? Because when you listen to Zach lets you know up front exactly what it is. I'll never understand people that like will hear Zach literally say something and then they'll come away with a completely different like interpretation, where I feel like it's not necessarily up for interpretation. If Zach is telling you, well, you could kind of put those movies in their own universe, Zach is literally telling you that they're not the same as the versions that you just watched, just with some extended additional content. He's telling you, no, they're different. It's a different story altogether. So what's so hard about following that line of thought when Zach is speaking directly? It was just like when Zach had to, back in the release the Snyder Cut days, when Zach had to literally come out and show the film canisters for Zack Snyder's Justice League, because people kept saying, "Oh, it doesn't exist. There's no Snyder cut."
Of
They're
course
not.
it exists.
Yeah, like what? Like honestly, that's what I say to myself. It's like, why don't these people listen to Zach? I understand that, Zach is known for posting stuff where it's, where things have multiple meanings and stuff. But stuff having multiple meanings is one thing. But when he's telling you something like direct, where he's literally showing you the canisters, telling you, of course it exists. I mean, you literally still had people saying, "Oh, that doesn't mean anything. Those canisters could be anything." It's like,
they could be empty.
Right. They could be empty. Like, okay, but what do you mean? Like, this is his direct response to the people that are saying it doesn't exist. This is a direct answer about what these new these cuts of Rebel Moon are going to be. That they even have different titles, for Christ's sake. So if they're just extended versions of the stuff that you saw, then they wouldn't have different titles. There's another clue, and that poster. How about that poster that you pointed out how beautiful it was? How you like went into all this detail, and you were like, I could go on and on and on about this poster, and I'm like, and I was thinking the same thing. It's like I'm mesmerized every time I look at the image because there's so much to unpack from it. You could literally sit there and be like drawing circles and around stuff, and be like, oh yeah, there's the mother box, there's this, there's that. It's all connected. Zach is low key connecting the Snyderverse in the way that we know it with his Netflix stuff. He's low key telling us stories that are all connected in some way.
Pretty, right?
It's crazy, isn't it? Isn't it nutty? Like he's literally making stuff at Netflix that creatively you could somehow connect to his DC stuff. It's crazy to me.
I think that part of the problem is, and I ran into this earlier. I didn't really get a chance to go in depth about this subject while I was on stream over there on Leon's stream, but I'll kind of give a preview of what I was doing.
Non-profit grifting.
Right. My point was going to be that, because there was a panelist that was pretty much saying about how he didn't appreciate that. He felt like we didn't know what we were getting with the PG-13 cuts in terms of it being like more of almost like a more studio mandated version, but it was like you're just saying, if you were listening to what Zach was actually saying, then it was obvious what this was. Right? Like that this was the version that he made for the studio. It was more family friendly. And however you want to slice it, it was more palatable to the masses, less offensive stuff in there, I guess, less offensive ideas. Right. And look how that was treated. And you still have people saying that, hey, they felt like they didn't know what we were getting. And I just feel like Zach was super clear about the inception of this movie, his ideas, his conversations with Netflix and how they played out in terms of how we got these movies. So, yeah, I just think that, there has to be more of listening and actually taking heed to what the man is saying himself. Not really listening to what his fans are saying, even, or like what people on the internet are saying. Some of this stuff is really just black and white, and he's made comments on it. He's answered questions about it. And yeah, I just thought that was a little bit weird because I was like, yo, like we clearly knew what this movie was. Right. Like, and he was like, yo, the director's cuts are his true vision. He said that from the beginning. And yeah, I just think that people need to actually listen to Zach's words, man, and not how you're being affected by, or how other people are being affected by what he says. You have to actually listen to what the man is saying.
Yeah, I've never understood that stuff. Some stuff is just not up for interpretation. You're getting it directly from the horse's mouth. I've always, and that's always just struck me as. But that's where what we were talking about earlier. That's where that all kind of comes in, where it's like, yeah, it's a grift. It's about grifting, and it's about narratives. They want to be able to control a narrative, so they twist Zack Snyder's words in ways that they can kind of make it seem like it's up for interpretation. But when Zack told the story about Rebel Moon and then the Rebel Moon director's cuts, and he literally talked about, oh no, I'll do these versions for you that you can give to everybody, and then I'll give you these, these weirdo far out versions that you can turn around and market later, right?
Which is also, one, being a good team player,
Mm-hmm.
right? And two, I think that like, I don't know if we recognize how business works a lot of the time, man.
Yeah.
Zack doing these PG-13 cuts had to happen that way for him to get the budget that he was going to get. So I doubt that he could get 166 million to go make, a hard R heavy metal inspired thing that's going to be on Netflix that children aren't going to be able to watch.
He barely was able to skirt getting an NC-17. Like,
right?
bro.
Bruh, when it was saying rated R, it had like 2 different pictures as to why the shit was rated R. It was like, yo, here's like a list of one things. It was like violence, gore, sexuality, blah, blah, blah. And then it was a whole other one. If y'all go back and y'all watch that trailer, it's literally 2 different screens of like why this film is rated R. So if y'all wondering why he couldn't get 166 million for that movie, I mean, I just think that y'all might not know how all this business stuff works, yo.
But see, that's also a testament to the type of relationship that Zack has with Netflix, because he's thinking about Netflix as a platform. If he was just a selfish content creator, let's just say content creator, selfish filmmaker, right? He could say, no, it's my way or the highway. I'm going to do my vision for these movies. You take my vision of the movie. In fact, I think I remember, and again, the relationship being so good between the two of them, I think I remember Zack saying, or Netflix saying, that it was Zack's idea to do the studio versions, to put out the studio versions and then make the director's cuts, to have these 2 separate sets for marketing and for the general audience, and then to get Zack's true vision out there. Really, it's the best of both worlds, and it's a win-win for Zack. I actually had thought about it, that I thought, well, maybe it would have been better for Zack as a filmmaker to just put his true vision out there and not worry about the studio. But he's thinking about Netflix from a business perspective, because he's partnered with Netflix. Netflix is treating him very well, and he's treating Netflix how he wants to be treated. So in my mind, that just goes to show, once again, what a class act Zack Snyder is.
Yeah, man, look, what has been done with this Rebel Moon budget is going to be studied, bro. Like, it's the fact that that for the price of a Superman Legacy, you could have gotten 8 Rebel Moon films. You know what I'm saying? I think that shit's gonna really, really be studied later, bro. Like, what has happened with these budgets might just end up changing the way that filmmaking goes, bro. Like, because that's crazy. We've never seen anything like this before.
It's so unique and fresh, and it's like almost showing you a synergy between studio and filmmaker in a way that it's actually supposed to be done. You know, because if Warner Brothers had that synergy with filmmakers, Warner Brothers would be a lot more successful.
Yep. Give me 1 sec, Zod. I'll be right.
Yeah, no problem. I got your message. Cool.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, no problem. So let's see where you guys are in the chat. I see you guys are having a little conversation here. Twerking for James Gunn is worse than a girl having a hoe phase. I can't look at you the same. The red carpet comment. I was so happy and proud for you, Sky. Yeah, that's such a beautiful, beautiful moment for our fandom as a whole. I felt honored, Sky, when you invited me to that stream. Yeah, it was beautiful, beautiful stuff. Bishop says, "Let me put in the word to the Father. He'll have one before the end of the week." Brett Colbert is such a great person. Let's see what we got here. You guys are great here in the chat for sure, 100%. Let's see. Everything happens for a reason. Life imitates art, and vice versa. Absolutely. Absolutely, guys. Everybody's in here. What's up, Brogu? Good to see you. Everybody showing love to Brogu as they should. And $5 super chat from the Curly Ray. Thank you, sir. What I don't understand is why do people want to know something without listening to the person that is telling you what they need to know? Yeah, that's what I don't understand either, a Curly Ray. It's so nuts. Like, Zach is literally giving them everything that they need, literally telling them what they need to know. I've never been able to understand why you don't listen to the filmmaker here. Let me give you a One Punch Dan drop for your $5 super chat.
God damn it.
Thank you again, Curly Ray. Appreciate you, bro. He's literally creating the Snyderverse. Yes, somehow creating the Snyderverse through all of his various projects where everything connects in some way. What if the Army of the Dead is the nightmare world in Zack Snyder's Justice League? It could very well be, Mama Bear. That's a wonderful, wonderful theory. I'm really starting to think that that's what he's doing. He's low-key trying to connect all of his properties one way or the other. You know, and doing it in a subtle enough way that he can get away with it. But if you're a fan and you can spot these little details, it's great. They're great. Great observation by Mads Mama Bear. Yeah, Mama Bear, I think you are right. Definitely agree with you. Zach was always completely transparent about the initial cuts, director's cuts. I agree 100% with that.
I agree too.
Always been Sky. I think he's been transparent this whole time, and people just choose to hear what they want to hear, believe what they want to believe, conduct their social experimentes, and do all these crazy things that don't mean anything. Create these big melting pot chat rooms just to mess with people's mind and run psyop on people and do all this crazy stuff. I'll never understand it. It's like, if you're a plant for a specific studio, that's cool, do what you're about, do your thing, right? But keep everybody else out of it because nobody wants to be a part of that bullshit.
Don't be trying to psyop me. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
Right. I'm not interested in your psyop crap. You know, I'm not interested in none of that. Like, oh, let's do this. Let's advertise that we're gonna do something. Let's promote the hell out of it, and then let's just back out of it and never follow through with it. You know, never mind if people are waiting for it or not. Let's just pretend. Let's just pretend. You know, we got the publicity out of it because again, it's about grifting. It's not about what's real, right? It all has to just be perceived, not real.
Crazy,
I'll never understand people like that. We got Super Bro Corey in this chat now, man. Howdy, much love to Zod and Skii. Much love to you, Super Bro Corey and Trey over at the Bat Channel. You guys are awesome. You know, rocking out with all the content that you do. Yeah, they do amazing content. I like to joke to them all the time about them becoming like the Godzilla channel. You know, because they literally, it's just crazy. It's just crazy, man. But I want you guys to kind of put your. I'm gonna use a line from Skiiwalker to Jedi here. Why don't you guys kind of put your final questions or comments in the chat because we're gonna start wrapping this up. So we probably gonna go for maybe about another 20 minutes or so. We're gonna kind of wrap this up. Skiiwalker and myself have both had a very, very long day today.
Y'all have no idea.
It's just one of them things, and but it's cool because Skii and I will continue to collaborate. I mean, this is just this is just one of the streams. We'll do some more stuff together. So it's not like this will be the last time that I talk to Skii or Skii talks to me. So you all will get more.
I just decided I was like, man, let me pull up and have a conversation real quick. You know what I mean?
Exactly. I mean, this is what it's all about, man. I mean, I remember. I think the first time I had you on Late Night Q&A, we went for close to 5 hours. We pulled like a Zack Snyder's Justice League, kind of a thing. And it's sort of like I'm to the point now where I try to keep these things around an hour and a half, under 2 hours, just to make it more palatable for replay crews and stuff too.
All good.
Speaking narratives, go defend the narrative. Well, the narrative here is Sin Havoc, and the narrative here is listen to Zack Snyder. Sell Snyderverse to Netflix. That's the narrative, folks. Okay. Right. And it's not just a narrative, it's the truth. That's the difference. When Skiiwalker's telling you something, he's not running you a narrative. He's not giving you a narrative. He's telling it to you like it is. That's what makes it great about. That's what makes it so great about you. When you come on and you do the Zack Snyder Hour, you're giving people facts. You're not speculate. You might speculate, but you're not like straight up making stuff up and just pulling stuff out of your butt. I mean, that's
the last bit of speculation I did on the Zack Snyder Hour was about the director's cut trailer coming out, which I was right about that. I was like, yeah, I think they were going to be getting a trailer pretty soon.
Scoop confirmed.
Right.
And I just want to briefly point something out about our friend, the late great Mikey Sutton. Isn't it amazing, Skiiwalker, how to this day, Mikey, God rest his soul, has been dead for nearly a year now. And he's got scoops coming out to this day that are turning out to be true. Ain't that crazy? Like Mikey was that's why I always say Mikey was a time traveler. He had to have been because he had so much stuff, sometimes I like to think about it that Mikey is a time traveler from the year 3000 something, and he just went back and he just had to go back to his own time.
Right.
It's kind of,
man,
it's I don't
dude,
know.
there's been so many things that this guy was right about, and I kind of knew that this was going to happen, that it was going to be all these things that we're going to keep coming true, and we'd be here having these conversations. But nah, it's truly humbling to be here and to see just the impact that this guy had, man, and how much that he was right about all this shit. That's why we literally laugh at some of the shit that y'all be saying out there, man. Because, like, man, a lot of this stuff, Mikey was telling us way back that all this shit was gonna happen. So, like, y'all be like, oh my God, y'all making stuff up. And how do you guys know it? It's because we have faith.
We have faith. And this is an excellent comment from Hold My DualShock Reviews. It's definitionally impossible to grift when you like Snyder, considering the entire entertainment media refuses to acknowledge he has even ever had a hit. That's a wonderful point.
Yeah.
I mean, we sit there and it's like, well, I always like to say it's very, very profitable, Hold My DualShock, to hate on Zack Snyder.
Absolutely.
If we want, really honestly, if we wanted to grift, all we have to do is change our tune and suddenly start hating on Zack Snyder tomorrow and twerking for James Gunn, and we'll do okay, because we'll get all those crazies and all those naysayers. We'll get the primes. We'll get the freaking, we'll get the South traders and all these people. We'll get all these people up in here. We'll get them on panels, and we'll have we'll get all kinds of super chats. We'll be swimming in the grift. Swimming in the grift, literally, like, we'll be drowning in the grift, right?
Like Scrooge McDuck, you know what I'm saying? Like,
because could you imagine as the top guy who headed up?
I already know what you're gonna ask, bro. That's what they waiting on, bro. That's all they want is for me to come out and say, "Hey guys, hey, maybe I judged Guardians 3 too harshly." You know what I'm saying? Maybe I judged Guardians 3 too harshly, y'all. Right?
Yeah. Maybe we should.
Scrooge McGriff. Oh my
God. Maybe we should give Gunn a chance, right? Give Gunn a chance.
They ain't getting me with that shit again. I already said it once when he came in and he showed us all his ass to kiss, yo. He was like, "Oh, nah, the fan base is fractious, blah 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 blah," and I'm like, "Oh, okay."
Yeah.
Cool,
or imagine you as the head of the Zack Snyder Cell movement coming out and saying, maybe I was a little bit too harsh on those Restore people. I was wrong about Restore the Snyderverse. I think Restore still has some merit.
Yo.
And it can work in tangent with, Cell.
You know what the best part about all that was, bro? And I ain't even gonna lie. I told some of the homies this, but I'll share it with all of you guys. When all that stuff was going down, like in real time, it forced us, because we had to go back and go pull them receipts, obviously, because y'all love receipts, right? But we had to go pull them receipts, and I got to listen to so much of Mikey's streams, bro. So many, because we were sifting through all the night shifts and all that stuff. And what was truly dope about that was that I know everybody remembers Mikey being like anti-Restore, but to go back and actually hear the venom and vitriol that he had for that shit, that was like nothing else, bro. Because truly, to be honest, when that whole hey guys, I judged Restore too harshly thing happened, it actually felt like Mikey was talking to us from beyond the grave, bro. It was so eerie. It was so eerie because I was listening to one of these streams and he was like, listen, I don't give a shit who it comes from. Whoever is trying to tell you that Restore got married, they either don't know what they talking about, they a plant, they this, they that. And I was like, yo, that's fucking crazy. Right? Like, because to live in this timeline where that reality is not what it was, right? Like, or like for people trying to make it seem like that wasn't the case, and you know, Mikey wasn't vehemently anti fucking Restore. Like, that was crazy, bro. And when things like that happen, I just really kind of I just left it up to you guys, bro. Everybody, I wanted y'all to make y'all own minds up, because hey, check out them old night shifts and just do what I was doing. Just go check out the intros right up until the first topic, right? Because that's what I was doing, and it was so many times, it was so many times, bro, where he would just start the stream off and just going at Restore, like from the beginning of the fucking stream, bro. Right? And then so to be in a world where people would try to make it seem like that wasn't the case, you know, when this man literally said, I don't give a shit who it comes from. He literally said that. I don't care who it comes from. He was like, whoever telling you that is not your friend. So
Mikey speaking from beyond the grave. That's prophetic, right there, bro.
Bro, like, what am I supposed to do with that information, bro? Right? Like, let's just say that this hadn't happened yet, because I don't think it had actually happened where he said the Restore thing. But like, let's say that hadn't happened yet. And then I'm going through here, and then I hear, and I'm hearing all these quotes from Mikey. Right? And he's like, yo, I don't give a shit who it comes from. I don't care who it, and he just kept harping on that, bro. Yo, y'all, check it out. If I'm lying, this was my thought process. We were going back and checking the old night shifts that was right after Full Circle. And yeah, just listen right up until the first topic. You can put it on 2x speed. I bet you every stream you probably put on, Mikey was throwing shots at Restore. Body shots, head shots. You know what I'm saying? Like real damaging stuff. And so to hear somebody that was so prophetic about so many things be that direct and particular, saying, hey, I don't give a shit who this comes from. If somebody comes and start pushing Restore, they full of shit. You know? And to see what eventually happened, bro, that shit was, I mean, it was even more confirmation, bro, because you were speaking to that earlier about us knowing that we're on the right path, bro. Like, what do I do with that information, Zod? Like, let's say that was you, and you go back and you hearing Mikey say, oh man, like whoever pushing that is on some bullshit, and then you look on your Twitter timeline and it was the homie.
And not only was it the homie doing that on his Twitter, but he's actually doing it on his stream. So you kind of get to the point where you're like, you know, I don't know. I think, you know what, guys, I don't really know how else to do this, but at this note, I don't know if I want to end. I don't know if I want to end the stream like this, but I think I need to end the stream the same way that I ended last week's stream. And I think because me and Sky are speaking about prophet, we're speaking about the holy nature in which with Zack Snyder and the way Mikey Sutton has put us on this path, man, I really think we need a Hail Mary. But before we do a Hail Mary, I want to get, Sky's final thoughts, and I want Sky, I want you to tell me what you got coming up, man. We're gonna wrap this up.
Man, first, and foremost, bro, I want to thank you for having me on the platform. You did. I appreciate being able to pull up, bro, and just having these conversations. I think is very healthy, and the people need to see it, yo. The people need to see the community coming together in solidarity, continuing on talking about the shit that we love, yo.
100%.
Right. There are so many things that can happen in life to knock people off place, or to, there's all the look. I'll just speak to this with me being a veteran. People know about the homelessness crisis with veterans in this country, and I know for a fact that could have been me, but it was just for like a set of circumstances that kind of kept that from being me. So I realized just how lucky that I am living the life that I live now. And I think that as Snyder fans, we could be in a whole lot worse shape than we are right now.
I'd say we're in pretty good shape right
now.
Yeah,
I don't like to kind of, y'all know me. I don't like to kind of toot my own horn, but I do say this. When Leon and I were thinking about if we hadn't went to Full Circle, right? I think that this is a different timeline now if we didn't go to Full Circle. I think that the narrative, even if other people did go, because for some, it just seemed about getting Zach on their channel, and that just seemed to be the end of it throughout the whole weekend, right? But for us, we kept pushing forward, trying to get answers to these questions that we had for the community, right? And so I think that what I'm trying to say is just enjoy what's happening, man. Enjoy the journey, because I think we're getting closer and closer to the end. And I can tell by how many fake motherfuckers that we've been dropping, because typically speaking, that type of stuff happens right before you start getting to where you got to go, right? And I just want to thank you guys for continuing to show support for everything that we do, for these conversations that we've been having, for you guys believing in us and this idea. I want to thank you guys for believing in me personally. This is not something that I or any of us take lightly. We are going to continue moving forward the most effective and the best way possible. So as for what I got coming up, I can't even really talk about it, bro. I'm gonna just be honest. Like, I got today's Wednesday. We got night shift probably coming up on Friday. Oh no, probably not, because I got something else huge on Friday. But cartoons and cereal this weekend, and just be on the lookout for a lot coming from us within the next few weeks. Yo, I just can't wait to share this information with you guys. I really can't. And I just want to thank you guys one more time for rocking out and being the troopers and soldiers that all you guys have been. We don't make it anywhere without each and every single one of you guys. And I'm just very grateful to be here with all of y'all, having these conversations and being locked arms side by side, keeping this fight going.
Final question from Batman's Thoughts. Hey, Zod and Sky, do you even have permission to talk about Zack Snyder?
I'll ask him.
All right. All right. And on that note, I want to thank you very, very much, Skiiwalker, for joining me tonight. It is always a pleasure. Anytime I get a chance to sit and talk with you, you know, just as a friend and as somebody that I've gotten to know very well over the years. And I'm very appreciative of you being here, of all the things that you've done. You know, again, this is wonderful. Mikey was right. Hashtag sell Snyderverse to Netflix. We're gonna, and like I said, I'm gonna go ahead and I think we're gonna. I don't know. Should we end this with a Hail Mary? What do you think? What do you think, guys? Should we end with a Hail Mary?
You already teased it, so let's
yeah. I guess we're gonna have to end with a Hail Mary here. Let's wrap this up here because it is. All right, hold on here. It'll be just one moment. Jeez, you know
they letting me talk about Zach again. Goofy ass dude.
They're letting him do it. They're letting him do it. They're letting him talk about it. But he can talk about it, and we're gonna pray for him.
Real quick.
No, go ahead, Sky.
Before we go, what's so funny is I was watching what the hell's the name of that channel? New Rockstars, right? And they had made a video about the Kendrick beef.
Okay.
Or the Not Like Us video. And that is black chick on there. And she started that video off saying, yo, I'm so glad that they letting me talk about the Kendrick and Drake beef, blah, blah, blah. And I heard that and I just cut the shit off, right? Because I instantly got enraged. But then I thought about it, right? New Rockstars is not that lady's platform, right? So it actually made sense, her saying, oh, they're allowing me to talk about something, right? But I'm going to just ask y'all a question. If motherfuckers is controlling what you talk about on your own platform, whose platform is that really? I'm gonna leave it at that. You know what I mean? I'm gonna just leave it at that.
You're gonna leave it with that, and we're gonna pray for him. All right. Good night, everybody. Peace.
Thought he was rising, but fell from grace. Now he's just a ghost haunting this place.
Where's the loyalty? Where's the crew? When greed grabs the wheel, it ain't nothing new. Once a brotherhood, now just a game. Sil's kingdom crumbled, and he's to blame. Brothers and sisters, we gather here in the haunting shadow of Sil Nation's demise. A once vibrant community, now falling into the abyss of desolation. The echoes of laughter and joy that once filled Sil's live chats are now replaced by whispers of tragedy. Sil Nation, a beacon of hope, has succumbed to the darkness. Let us mourn the loss of its spirit, its dreams, and its light. May we never forget the lessons of its rise and fall. Amen. Nation was a bloody tragedy. The way Sil fucked up on all his printers, how it had to be. This motherfucker turned a blind eye on all his supporters. For a panel of nobody, fucking cloud hoarders. Sil's gone borderline crazy. Turns out he's just fucking lazy. The man only loves the money and wants all the clout. His friends don't matter, it's a pattern, it's what Sil's all about. Fucking everybody over while quoting the Bible, as if God likes ugly, spitting, devilish bile. How can people be snakes when they paved your way for years? Sil Nation drowned in an ocean of tears. Downfall is legendary, nothing left but a defiled carcass. The only Lord chump you got left is Neo 7's Marcus. It's such a shame. You turned lame cause still nation died withering in pain. Shattered and battered, pissed away because of all your greedy conniving grifting for another easy payday. Your supporters would have taken bullets for your ass. How many times did enemies decapitate your ass? You're like the hunchback from 300, a selfish prick pretending to be kind as you lie, riding James Gunn's dick. You did your little pity party purge, now I pray for you. 16 Hail Marys, fucking God, I say it for you. You're going to hell still, but that's okay. Your soulless and heartless, ain't no way for you to change anyway. Mikey Sutton is turning over in his grave. Ruined the day he ever found out your name. You turned your back on everything Mikey stood for, fucker. Clout chasing is the only thing you're good for, fucker. Hail Mary full of grace, I pray to eradicate Sill's disgrace. Depressingly sad how he continues to clout chase. Help him see enlightenment, may he find faith in an honest path. I pray to God he gets a fresh cut, some new shoes and takes a bath. At this point though, yo, he deserves his enemy's wrath. He destroyed himself, it's too late for another chance. Another Hail Mary, the eulogy of Zill Nation. Prayers to all the homies who fell victim to Sylvester's damnation. Shout out to the cool table, Batman and Zod, to a past socks, the lethal geeks in Qatar, praise God. Shout out to a Curly Ray, Oza Fresh and our man Bishop for rocking out another day. Keeping our heads up and for Mad's Mama Bear, we know you're here to stay. The love is real, embrace it, now let us pray. Last but not least, rest in peace, Mikey Sutton. Amen.